Hello and welcome to Cuesta Sports Monthly, an in-depth look at Cuesta athletics. I'm your host, Peter Schuler, and today with me is cross-country runners, Harriers, Anthony Erickson and Paige Medrano. Welcome, Paige. Welcome, Anthony. Glad to have you here on Cuesta Sports Monthly. Getting ready for the state championships this year. How are you guys feeling going into this final week? Anthony, start with you. How you?
Right now, feeling pretty good. Like, the nerves haven't kicked in yet, so I can just stay relaxed this week. And yeah.
Okay. And Paige, how about you?
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm excited and probably won't be nervous till day of.
You guys kind of have a smaller group going. You get to go with Jordan Riley, who had a great state meet last year. He had probably his best race of the year. And then you have Dulce Esquivel on your team. Does having that experience of those guys help you a little bit? Because it's just a couple people going.
Yeah.
Does that help having Dulce out there with you?
Yeah, it's nice to have someone else so that I'm not alone, which is good.
Now, you guys have been training all season together, but you guys have had a smaller team without a lot of, you haven't had a scoring team this year with just the three of you.
Yeah.
What's it like having that small group when you go to those big meets with 500 runners? It's just the two of you.
It's been weird because I'm used to having like a full team, but it's nice because it's like more intimate. But we've just been like training together, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. How about you, Anthony? What's it like coming?
It's really cool going with Jordan. All season he's been pushing me, and we've just been working well together. And even though most of the other schools have like big teams and stuff, my high school is pretty small, so I'm used to it at this point.
Now, Paige, you missed the first couple of meets of the season, and so did you, Anthony. What was it like? Was that tough to come back in, or was it just kind of rolled right back? You were kind of ready for that.
Yeah, I was just ready for it. I just love racing, so I was excited.
Okay.
Yeah, at first it was weird getting back to racing, but as the season's progressed, it's become easier.
Yeah, you guys have gotten faster. Every race, waiting to see where you guys are at. Now, you came from a small school. You came from Mission Prep. You had a lot of success there. What's kind of been the difference for you going from that smaller group in the county and smaller school to coming to traveling statewide and running against everybody?
Yeah, I think it's mostly just the traveling to meets. Most of our meets were local in high school, so that's probably been the biggest difference.
Now, how do you feel against the competition statewide?
I felt pretty good because I raced the state meet in high school, and so it's pretty similar, honestly.
Now, Paige, you had a good team over there at Royal Grande, and you guys are doing well. Did always do well at Royal Grande. Seems like they're always the powerhouse in the county.
Yeah.
What's it like kind of with this big group, and knowing that it's just the three of you with that small group? Do you kind of feel different because you're racing just individually, or is it how'd that work for you?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot different because I'm used to having as a team and trying to work together to score, but just having the three of us and having to score individually has been really different, but it's more of a challenge. So
yeah, what's the difference when you're kind of on your own? You're racing kind of basically for yourself, but you have a teammate out there versus running knowing that what you do individually is going to affect where the team scores. Is that I guess is it just one foot in front of the other as fast as you can, or is that kind of coming into your pre-meet thinking whether you're running as an individual or how you can help the team and where you place it?
Yeah, I kind of just plan everything out the same and just kind of race the same way.
Okay. Just running.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of got you into running? Was it some Forrest Gumpian epiphany that I can run, or was it what was the thing that made you decide to become a runner? And what other sports might you have played? Yeah,
I've always loved running. When I was a kid, I would do fun runs and stuff. And then my cousin convinced me to do cross country in high school, so I joined and I really enjoyed it. So I've just been doing that ever since.
How about you, Anthony? Did you play?
When I was younger, I always played soccer and basketball and baseball, and so I was always one of the faster kids. So when it came to middle school, I decided to do cross country, had a lot of fun, did it in high school, and then my passion for it just continued to grow as the years progressed. So
now, here on the Central Coast, we have a lot of great places to run. Morro Bay's got that little track that goes on kind of the beach and all that stuff. And you guys have a lot of great running trails out in Rio Grande and through Slow. And we have a pretty strong running community. But when you go to other schools, what's kind of your favorite place to run on? Is it more the beach, or more in the hills, more the or Central Valley when it's 100 degrees? What kind of trail, what kind of race course do you like to run on?
My favorite course is Woodward Park in Fresno, which is where State's
so
going to
perfect.
be. So yeah.
So that's a fairly flat race, right?
It's pretty hilly. There's like rolling hills, and then there's some other big hills later. So.
So you don't mind the hills so much?
No.
All right.
Yeah, my favorite is probably Woodward Park, just because it's fast, but at the same time it's slow if you don't race it smart. So
then this is our first race at Woodward Park this year. Do we have the okay? So this is going to be a good challenge. There's a bunch of people there, and actually that's the state championship. Pretty much every year, the only place it's been in the last 25 years has been at right here. So maybe we'll get it back then. I guess they're trying to make it a permanent site, which seems to be something you guys would approve of, right?
Yeah.
All right. When you guys get done with cross country, will you be coming back for track? And that.
Yeah.
And will you go just straight distance, or do you have any other events?
I don't know. I like doing like the longer distances, but I also like doing the mile and like the 800 because it's just like super fast. So it's just something different and fun.
Not that you don't want to do the 10K or?
It's too fun. It's too many laps.
Mary, how about you?
yeah, I'll probably just like focus on maybe the 800 to the 5K.
Okay, so keep those shorter events a little bit. I don't know if the 5K is short to many people, but maybe you guys. Now, you guys come back in. We have a new coach, Connor. Connor's had a lot of success. I mean, he was our athlete of the year. I don't know if you guys know that. Big star here. But nice to have him back, but it's his first season. What's it been like kind of, I mean, he's had an opportunity as assistant, but has it been good having Connor out there who's experienced all those things you've been to and been to the state? Has that made a difference for you guys as a team and as athletes?
Yeah, I think that's definitely helped a lot. My other coaches were like kind of experienced too, so to me it didn't really feel any different, but yeah.
So he's doing pretty well his first year?
Yeah.
All right, we'll make sure he has good mark. Now, when you look at some of the things we got coming in now, going to state, all those things, what's probably been the biggest change for you guys from high school to college just this year? Too tough? I'm getting really giving you tough questions.
I think it's just like schedule wise because like everyone has their own schedule in college, whereas high school everyone's on like the same schedule and the same breaks and everything. So it's been weird, but it's nice.
Now we do have kind of a smaller team this year. What is, I mean, we talk about this a lot. What has come from the pandemic? What has it taken away from you? What has you gained? What are kind of the things coming out of the pandemic? This is kind of our first real full year of athletics here, and I wanted to see how you guys felt coming out of that. Was that did you feel like you can jump out of that real quickly, or was that something that you guys kind of lost some of your training for a year?
I was just, I like jumped out because I was just ready to start having like actual races again instead of the small, like, during COVID, we just had like, all the meets were pretty much just like school loops around everywhere that we went.
Just
so
nobody around, right?
Yeah, it was super small.
That's the nice thing about cross country. You could probably get out during the pandemic and get out and go take yourself for a run and stuff like that. That's kind of what you guys did.
Yeah.
All right. So predictions coming up at the state meet. How you feeling as an individual, and you have to tell us how you feel about it as a team. How you guys gonna go?
I don't know. I think it'll go well. I mean, like we've all like improved a lot as the season's progressed, and just one more race. So just leave it all out there.
All right. Well, Paige, anything else?
I'm excited, so I'm just hoping that I'll do well.
All right. Good luck for you both this weekend, and hopefully we'll see you during the track season. So that does it for cross country here on Cuesta Sports Monthly. I'd like to thank Paige Medrano and Anthony Erickson for joining us. When we come back with Cuesta Sports Monthly, it'll be soccer on Cuesta Sports Monthly. I'm Peter Schuler. We'll be right back.
This program is produced by Cuesta Broadcasting. Start your radio, TV, and film career at Cuesta College.
With Cuesta Women's Soccer here on Cuesta Sports Monthly, we welcome Coach Caleb Likwe-Natov and Hannah Flanagan coming back for Cuesta Soccer. So welcome,
Thanks
Caleb.
for having us.
Coach Caleb and Hannah. Soccer season didn't get as far as we wanted to get this year. Let's talk a little bit about that. You got hired late.
Mm-hmm.
We had a retired coach, Bob Wilson, who founded the program,
Mm-hmm.
and then you kind of come in there. And what was kind of the stuff that was making it tough for you guys?
Well, with any transition, you have growing pains, so to speak. And as you said, I was hired on a little late. So in preparation for preseason or pre-conference play, I didn't have the time to kind of solidify our group of numbers and then kind of do my own recruiting as we led in, and or kind of the other parts of off-season management that are typically done earlier in the year.
By the time you they actually hired you, the school year had started.
Right.
So the only place you could recruit was on campus, basically.
Yeah, and we worked very diligently, and we were able to get a few athletes, and unfortunately with the changeover, few people were lost in translation, but we started the season with 13, and unfortunately with health and other stuff, we had to make choices.
That's a tough season.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys kind of showed some promise and looked like it was going to be good, and then injuries come, and and they happen. In soccer,
Right.
You have to have some depth, right?
Yeah, and 11 players on the pitch, and then you need at least 6, 7 waiting to go. And most of the 4 games that we did get to play, which we performed very well considering the circumstances. But if you have 12, 11 girls on game day, that's very precarious. So
Now, Hannah, you got a full season last year. This year, kind of the slow start. What was that like for you coming in here? New coach, season on a brink, and those type of things. So what was that like for you?
It definitely set a different tone this year, and I think that's a good thing. It was like a fresh start, so that's cool. Even though the season didn't go exactly like we wanted, I think it's a nice foundation to start off of, though.
Is that kind of one of those things where we're now? Did you guys feel like we're the underdogs? We're scrapping. We're just trying to make it happen.
Yeah.
And we're did that bring the girls together? Kind of that. Kind of the world against you type thing? You feel that? Or?
I think it did. It was more bonding this year than I think what last year was. It was nice. So, yeah.
And so, are you guys still have class right now and you're still out there practicing? What are kind of your plans? Have you been out there recruiting and hitting everybody up?
Oh yeah, so the winter high school season is about to start, and I have all the schedules kind of laid out at home. I'm trying to kind of plan my course of attack, so to speak. But we have people in the queue that I keep getting from different outlets every day, and right, the big emphasis with the quote extra time that we've had this year. I in the fall, I've been able to get more interconnected with the local coaches in this area, and for me, coming from New England, that's where to start. Is know who's in your district for your recruiting district. Get to know those coaches. Let them know who you are, and be present among the community.
Or are you just going campus,
yeah,
with a gift bag and
pretty much a smile, a handshake, and some Cuesta hats and gear. So yeah, we're Peyton Netz as my assistant coach. We're gearing up for a very big winter of recruiting, and we the goal is, and you've heard it from me, is to have 25 plus athletes next year, and with a returning core that's had a lot of time for skill development and kind of building our identity as a group. I'm looking forward to next year, and we're on a mission.
Now, how's practice working right now? I mean, you guys are still kind of going for the semester, kind of goes until playoffs ends, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So how's that going right now? Are you guys just doing more smaller drills, or you guys? Because you guys have so many reps now, because you don't have that many people, are you really feeling like you're improving even though you're not playing?
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot more one-on-one time, I think, between all of us. So we really get the time to really practice and set a specific goal on what we want to do. And all that kind of stuff.
It's kind of fun having that small group, and you can really kind of narrow in. Is that helping you with your is that how your style of coaching has to kind of change a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, we have had to adapt even on the practice field with the amount of numbers, and it's been more technical practice centric in the sense of developing individual skills, but with that, there's been a lot of time, one, for, as Hannah said, for me to engage with each individual and kind of cater their training as it'll relate to their positioning next year. But with kind of the, as that being kind of the unifying agent along with kind of the early parts of the season, I think the ladies have had a lot of time to get to know each other, because in these small technical sessions, you're working with 1-2 players in your specific group versus that big tactical. So what I've really appreciated is everyone's engaged when we get to practice versus, when we get into certain tactical play next year, some people will be on the pitch and some will be off the pitch just from a number standpoint. And that has its benefits and its kind of downfalls as less people see the field as we try to develop a style of play for the bigger field.
I was just thinking about that because you had that smaller group, and I was thinking about you came to Cuesta originally as a track coach.
Yep.
And you dealt with a smaller group within one type of thing. Is that kind of similar in this way, where you have a small group and you really focus on that one thing?
Well, yeah. It translates really well. I was the sprint coach under Loker, and track and field is very technical, and how we develop speed in our athletes is a very technical practice, and it's been an easy transition for me in that sense of having a group size that I've been working with for the last 2 years. And yeah, I do. I think building that foundation from a skill standpoint is only going to translate next year as these ladies are going to be ready and confident in their own abilities, and then we'll work on translating that to the bigger picture.
Yeah. So it's kind of like that. Would you, like, we did have some of your soccer players ran last year.
Yeah.
So you're going to kind of encourage them that way, or are you going to have a spring class? And
we are going to have a spring class, so we'll be Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the spring, and again, we're hoping to have maybe some more numbers as we get interest from this fall, because we've been on campus, we've been present, people see us out there. So we'll hopefully even pick up a couple more athletes as we move into the spring. And with the kind of less time demand with only 3 days, that might, again, garner further interest. And yeah, I kind of lost my place. But in general, I do. I think that that will all come together and as we head into the spring, and that's a perfect building period for our athletes, whether it's fitness or strength. So we're going to emphasize that a little more in the off season. When we get to competition next year, that we have the physical abilities and the well-rounded training to stay healthy, because we didn't have time to, at least from my perspective, to implement a fitness regime that would, kind of be well-rounded and make sure that these athletes stay healthy.
Right. I got one last question. Hannah's going to end the last question of the thing. But you're a rare player who's had to play 2 different soccer coaches at Cuesta College. Mm-hmm. That's never happened before, because Coach Bob Wilson was here from the founding.
Yeah.
What are the things that you've learned from both coaches, and what's kind of that transition done for you? And you're ready. You're going to have another full season with Caleb next year.
I think it was a huge transition. I really liked both of them. Last year was great with Coach Bob.
Cancer.
This year it's different though, because it just feels a little newer style of play, newer ideas on drills and everything like that. And especially with fitness and like maintaining our strength and everything off season, I'm really excited for that, and I think it's been very helpful.
Right. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Caleb.
Well, thank you, Pete.
That does it for Cuesta Women's Soccer here on Cuesta Sports Monthly. When we come back, basketball. Men's and women's coaches Casey and Rusty Blair will join us on Cuesta Sports Monthly.
Cuesta.edu. Television, radio, broadcast, communications. Explore the world of digital communication and tap into your creative genius. Television, radio, broadcast, communication.
This is your boy, the DUI, and you're listening to KGUR.org.
Your digital future is at Cuesta College right now. Log on to cuesta.edu now for enrollment dates and class information.
Don't get the boom in the shot.
Blown it, bro!
Cuesta.edu.
We're starting? Okay. Welcome back to Cuesta Sports Monthly. We appreciate having Cuesta basketball coaches Rusty and Casey Blair join us. Coaches Blair, welcome back to Cuesta Sports Monthly. Season's just getting started. We'll start with you, Casey. Second year of the women's team, reigning conference coach of the year. How are the teams doing out there? How's the girls going?
Trying to build a foundation right now. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing. I can't jump the process from step 1 to step 10. So it's taking the process each step at a time. I think that's the biggest thing I've learned from year 1 to year 2. And right now we're just grinding. We're grinding. But we're going to get there. I believe in my players. They're working hard every single day in practice and the games. And they're giving everything they got. So that's all I can ask. But we're going to take the steps. Once you can't jump the steps, but we're going to get there.
So we're in the process.
We're in the process right now. We are definitely in the process, but we will get there. I can promise you that.
All right, Coach Rusty. I can't say Coach Blair. Rusty, how you guys come out there? You've had a tough schedule. 3 of the first 4 teams are ranked. How do you think the team's doing against those tough teams, and where do you place yourself on those?
Well, I wasn't expecting that, to be truthful, Pete. We're coming right out of the chute playing the top teams, but it is what it is. That's what the schedule lent. Junior college basketball, you can be good one year and bad the next year. Unfortunately, with the portal right now, with the NC2A portal, all the teams are up. So we're on an up year, and there's some real good talent out there. But we're maintaining. We're 2-2. We lost a double overtime game. We were playing the number 2 team in the state last weekend. Cut it to 6, had the shot to cut it to 3, missed the shot, made a turnover, and therefore we lost by 10. So we're there. We're there.
Yeah, you guys are definitely there. Well, let's talk about the portal a little bit and what it's doing. Got to get you guys' perspective on this. You got these the accessibility to transferring between schools is raised. Then you have the NIL. You have the money which is coming in there. How are those things affecting both our level, but also at the next level? I mean, the fact that these student athletes are more free agents, and there's a monetary portion of that beyond the scholarship.
I think it's difficult because in the old days you're trying to build with the freshmen and sophomores. Nowadays everyone's looking for playing time, and if they don't get it, they could transfer from school to school. So it's definitely changed the recruiting process, the building of the program process, because you need players that are going to win now. It's not, let me develop the freshmen and sophomores. If they're not playing, a lot of players could be disappointed, and they could transfer school to school. At our level in California, you still got to sit out a year, 12 units in-house. At the Division I level, you could just transfer school to school. Right. So I think it's more of an effect at the next level than our level, but we're definitely feeling it. No doubt about it.
I agree. It's going to be difficult, but, we also forgot about the high school players. They're coming out of COVID also. They lost a year there. Then the portal comes. So a lot of the high school players are being completely overlooked and not even being recruited. And those guys are the good ones, the really good players, are starting to come to the junior colleges now. So you have an overflow of people coming down from a higher level and people going up that were not likely highly recruited. So it's making, like I said, it's an up year.
So what beyond that, because of the transfer and because the need to play right now rather than kind of sit on the bench and learn, you don't have that happening right now. Do you feel that that's affecting the quality of your teams or the quality of the basketball that's being played because that learning isn't happening as much and it's just about play, or do you think playing makes them better?
I'm gonna let you answer this first. You got the experience after 3 years coach. This is my second year.
Well, as I said earlier, everyone is starting over almost every year in junior college. You're starting with a brand new team. We have only 4 guys returning from last year's team, a whole bunch of new guys in, looking to have a couple local guys on the team. One of our leading scorers is a local Atascadero gentleman and doing a quite good job. But I think that, it's going to take some time, especially the top team in the state of California. They've now risen to another level. They're the top level. So it makes it even more difficult to get through.
So where you played with number 2, Sequoias, last week in a tight game up until the last minutes, you feel that's a whole big jump from where you guys are?
I'm not going to say anything.
You're just that good a coach.
Yeah, no.
I know that. I know that's true. I've been around.
I take, because I was 12 years assistant coach in the men's side, so I kind of saw the perspective on that side. I do think the level of competition has risen, especially at the JC level, as Coach Blair was saying. And for us, we just have to get there. We just have to get there. That's the bottom line. There is no excuses. For my program, we're developing right now. He's in a different situation. He's been established. But it's definitely the transfer portal has made a huge impact across the board at all levels. No doubt about it.
Well, I'll just say this, kind of point out, I'm going to kind of focus on some of your sophomores here you have. The difference we've seen with Wani Dassi, who's a first team all-conference player, and what he's done already, he's established himself as a totally different player than he was a year ago after a year in the system. Kobe's coming back. He hasn't kind of hit his stride yet last year, but he took some time last year also to get there. Moritz is a starter, and Drew redshirted and spent a year in the program, and he's come into a starter and one of your main scorers.
Yes.
So Drew Ardoin from your local student from Atascadero.
Yes.
So I think, does that kind of prove to you that having that year in that system really makes a change?
It does, but it's very difficult to get anyone to redshirt or gray shirt now because they're looking one and go. That's what they're trying to do. Everyone's trying to do one and go to the next level, ultimately reaching the top level, and that's very highly unlikely that we'll have anyone that can reach that level. But they want 1 year and go. They're always talking about when's that scholarship coming.
Yeah.
It's not that easy of a job just to turn in and turn out getting somebody a scholarship. For one thing, the team's got to be playing well, and they got to be playing well, and they got to be recognized.
Yeah. So you have one starter back from last year, first team all conference.
2. I got guard. 2. One all conference.
Okay, Sam won not. That's right. Yeah, Sam was off and on the bench, but yeah. So Sam and Daisy, you have 3 players back from last year. Olivia was the first team all conference.
Yes, correct.
So how do you guys? Now you're seeing Olivia's carrying the big load right now. It seems.
I'm trying to make her. She has to become more of an elite scorer. Last year she was more of a complete player all around. So right now she's trying to transition into being a scorer, a vocal leader on and off the court, and that's what she's working on right now. Watanabe, like you said, was a partial start on and off. I'm trying to make her my secondary scorer. So both of them are learning new roles from last year. But we're going to get there.
All right. Now, real quick, you kind of established your identity. You've got players from all over, local players, international players, local players, and you're trying to establish your identity. Are you going to try and follow that path where you're getting people from all over out of state? You got some internationals. What are you kind of looking at? That's
correct. So when I was assistant coach with him, I was the lead recruiting coordinator. So I'm trying to follow the same path. Trying to follow the same success he had and the path to get there. And I think that's having local players, having international players, having players around the state, and then bring them all together to be a good team. So I'm trying to follow the same path that he's been doing for the last 30 years.
Awesome. Wish both of you guys best of luck. Hopefully we'll see a couple of your players in the spring, and have a great fall and great Christmas the rest of the way.
Thank you.
So that does it for Cuesta Basketball here on Cuesta Sports Monthly. Thanks again to the coaches, Rusty Blair and Casey Blair, to our cross-country runners, Anthony Erickson and Paige Medrano, and all our athletes here at Cuesta College. Thank you very much for joining us on Cuesta Sports Monthly. We'll see you next time.